Well, good morning, DirtFish friends. How beautiful is this? A little bit hard to believe, isn't it? Having watched those unbelievable conditions in Shakedown yesterday, it was poured with rain, the cars were covered in mud. It was more Wales Rally GB than the Acropolis Rally, but this is what we come to Greece for. Beautiful blue skies, the Bay of Corinth, Treacherous behind us. Oh, it's just going to be the most perfect day of rallying here ahead of us. A proper day of rallying as well. Last night we had the opening stage in the centre of Athens, and wasn't that a little bit special? We've come along to Loutraki today and we have 5 stages ahead of us. Now, the opening 3 stages are going to be very, very interesting indeed. They're classic stages from the Acropolis of past. And do you know what? They've worked on these stages a lot. They've done a lot of repairs to them, but they are very rough, they are very tough, they are very abrasive, and it's going to be a proper opening, challenging 3 stages. Earlier on in the week, I caught up with Elvin Evans and he told us about the challenge of the stages here in Greece.
I think you will never have the perfect car everywhere here because there's so many changes. So, you have to have a car that generally gives you confidence and obviously that performs well, and that's all that you want. And of course a reliable car with the tough terrain here, although I believe it is a little bit less rough than we have seen some years ago.
It's going to be really interesting. I can't wait. I tell you, it's one of my favourite rallies. What are your memories of 2012 in the little car, the little R2 car?
Doing a lot of repairs from what I remember. Really trying to get the car back to service every time. That was the aim, really. Of course, you had to drive as much as you could as well. But yeah, there seemed to be a lot of work going on between stages.
So absolutely, without any question, in my view anyway, these opening 3 stages, before they come back down here actually for a remote tyre zone and what are they doing here? There's no remote service. It's a tyre zone and it's a regroup area here in Loutraki itself. The opening stage, and then we have 2 more after that, are going to be, for me, defining stages. It'll be really interesting. I think we'll see a fair amount of attrition in those stages. We then head back towards Lamia and we pick up a couple of stages on the way to Lamia. Now, those are very different stages. The 2 stages, Igi Theodoris run twice, the 2 stages this morning, well, they're rough, they're tough. They really are typical Acropolis stages. I was actually very close to one of those stages at the weekend with Oliver Solberg testing, and my goodness me, it was car braking in places. It really was punishing on the tyres, it was punishing on the suspension. That is what we can expect to see out there this morning. But as I say, after lunch, we make our way back towards Lamia and we pick up a couple of stages on the way. The first of those, the longest stage of the day, is Thiva. As we mentioned earlier on, a lot of rain in that region over the last couple of days. I drove Thiva just a day or so ago. Have a look at this little onboard and you can see just what the conditions are like. It's almost like, difficult to describe, it's like parkland on the edge of town. It's a long stage, but the surface is very, very soft indeed. And it was cutting up badly. It was cut up after recce. Yes, we're expecting blue skies there today, but these conditions that you're looking at now, are they going to dry out completely? I think that's a big question because it'll be very challenging if they don't. We then move on from there to the last stage of the day, and again, a completely different stage. Yes, it's been raining very heavily in that region as well, but this is a proper constructed, engineered road. It's fast, it's flowing, could well be one of the fastest stages of the rally. It's going to be a really fascinating day, but I've given you my view. Again, earlier on in the week, Craig Breen was here doing the recce, and he told us what he thought maybe these weather conditions, what kind of effect they would have on the rally and the stages. A lot of people coming through the stages the last couple of days, a lot of drivers saying how unusual this is for Greece. You've seen these conditions here before though, haven't you?
Yeah, I think it actually happened on 2 occasions when in the European Championship rally where there were stages cancelled. Even before the rally there was a couple of stages cancelled just because the road was washed away. And then during the rally, I remember there was absolute bedlam on the opening stage of the rally one time, and there was, I think, 7 or 8 cars off in one location. And the way the roads are here when it rains, this red clay, especially that you see sometimes in Australia and places like that, there's a lot of it here. And yeah, there's really no grip at all. And once it gets saturated and it's properly wet, it's incredibly slippery. So it's a big challenge. Yeah. Yeah, the roads in Loutraki, it's generally speaking a bit harder based, more bedrock. It was incredibly rough. Definitely the two roughest stages of the rally were those two around Loutraki. The latter stages at the evening time when you're working your way back up towards the service park, a little bit softer, but still nothing compared to what we saw for the recce, the stages at least on Saturday and Sunday. The last stage on Saturday, in places, you really have to pick your line down through a field of mud basically, and it's even easy to fall off the road at walking pace. So if it stays like this, which the weather forecast suggests it will do, even more rain tomorrow on Thursday, it's going to be a difficult weekend. Yeah.
Do you know what? Seeing Craig Breen here, it does give us further indications that he's planning for next year. I'm sure there is some news from Craig Breen coming very, very soon indeed, and we'll be right on top of that news here at dirtfish.com. So, we did see the opening super special last night. We can't read an awful lot into where things stand overall. Obviously, Ogier was fastest through. He may struggle this morning. He may struggle with being first on the road. The road has been repaired. There's a lot of gravel gone onto the road. Could be a difficult day for Ogier, but what he will do is he will get safely through the stages, and that might count for a lot, because I think whoever gets through today's stages without any real suspension, tyre wear issues, they will be in the box position to push for the rest of the rally. We have to look a little bit further down the start list to look at who I think will be favourite today. Danny Sordo will be right there in terms of his times. He will make the most of the road cleaning in front of him. I also think this could be Oit Tanak's weekend. He is due a change of luck. Perhaps his performance this weekend, though, might be dictated by the reliability of that Hyundai. Have they managed to banish those suspension woes that crippled them on so many rallies earlier on in the year? I really sincerely hope so, because I want to see Tanak going well. I want to see Sordo going well, and in particular, I want to see Neuville going well out there this weekend. For me, though, we've got to have a look at the likes of Ogier and Elfyn Evans. Those are the two that I think will be pushing hard. Having said that, they're the ones that may struggle a little bit this morning. It'll be an interesting battle, but don't write off the M Sport boys. A good result is really possible here this weekend for M Sport. So, folks, we get underway very, very shortly on the opening day. 90 kilometres, 60 miles in front of us today, and we will be here to bring you all the action as it unfolds. Day one of the Acropolis Rally of Gods is very nearly go. Is that it, guys? Are we done? Can I just, good? Is that okay? I'm going to just go for a wee paddle. Is that all right, mate? Okay, mate.